Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
So we've got to talk about this story that came up. Now, I'd seen this article or a related article that came up a little while ago, talking about a public servant uh, who was employed in the police, Queensland Police Service, but he was in the civil side of things. So he was a civilian employed in the Queensland Police Service, and he'd been stood down and he'd been charged with a few things. I didn't read too much into it because it seems like it happens every second week with some of these fellows. However, the story the story has grown. We've got to look at this story. It raises a lot of questions for me, and I'll tell you why. I think it's not just the fact that these people were doing the wrong thing. Obviously, they're just a corrupt family. Mum and dad teaching their son how to rort the system, how to get away with it. This fella's probably a spoilt little brat, and they've just all they've done is just continue to show him that as he's grown older. The real question here, I think, is the Queensland government, and I've been talking about this quite a bit. Human resources, when it comes to hiring, they have a lot to answer for. They constantly, constantly make so many mistakes. I don't know whether sometimes I've had the thought is that some of it is done on purpose when it comes to hiring. And we want to go and root out the people who are doing the unlawful activity. But then the people within human resources who make the decision to hire these people, they're never held accountable. And I think there's a lot of people within human resources that need to be held accountable because some of the hiring is blatantly overlooking red flags, blatantly. And you sit there going, how did you not see that? You did that on purpose. I I'll go through this article first, and then I'll tell you a couple of things that I'd seen when I was in the police, and I thought it just doesn't make sense why they do things. This story. So, family ties. Public servant, her husband and son face court over withdrawal of traffic fines. This is infuriating because the amount of people that get in trouble, they go on the spur system. You have these exorbitant fines, and then you have the spur system. If you're not from Australia, spur, it's a government system. So if you can't pay the fine, you'll ring up this government agency, which I think is overseen by the Queensland Revenue Office, I think. And they put you on a payment plan. The problem is the minute you're like a couple of days later or something goes wrong with your account's overdrawn, they don't get the money, bam, you'll get you'll get another fine, you can even face getting arrested. Police will see you. You don't even realize that you're behind in payments. You can get in so much trouble. You end up in court for a government system that's just. Anyway, police are investigating several serving and former public servants within the Queensland Revenue Office over allegations they waived camera detected traffic fines for themselves or people they know. One public servant has been charged. So, a public servant in the Queensland Revenue Office allegedly misused her position. Government computer and inside knowledge to wipe her son's 3 traffic fines in Queensland can reveal. In Queensland's the publication I'm reading from. The Brisbane woman, her son, and husband have all been charged with a series of offences as part of a Queensland police investigation into the alleged cover up. The 43-year-old woman who worked in the Queensland Revenue Office has been charged with 11 offences. Wow, you go, mama. The criminal charges includes 3 counts of misconduct in public office with benefit, with each carries a maximum of 7 years jail if convicted. Oh, I hope she gets the 7. Queensland Treasury confirmed several other QRO, Queensland Revenue Officers, former and current public servants from have been referred to Queensland Police for investigation. It has, so we have been told the allegations relate to a nest a nest of former and current public servants who waived traffic camera detected fines for themselves and or people known to them. That's very kind of them. The QRO administers and manages fines, including camera detected offences, for example, red light, speed, seatbelt, and mobile phone. You know, the new mobile phone fines where they're like over $1,000, and failure to comply with demand notice for overdue tolls. So we've been told the integrity process within Treasury allegedly detected the woman's alleged actions involving her son's traffic fine. The woman, who was also a registered Queensland Justice of the Peace, resigned from her supervisor position last November, shortly after police charged her. Her son is a civilian employee with Queensland Police. He was suspended from his job in Operation Support Command. Operation Support Command. I, I think that's the umbrella command uh, that my office that I was involved in sat under. Oh, crikey. They've had a few issues. In October last year, after police laid charges, I remember that. The 25-year-old was charged with 6 offences. These included knowingly making false declarations to his mother that he was not the driver, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the woman's son was also charged with separate counts of dishonestly inducing the Queensland Revenue Office and Police Commissioner to reissue a photographic detection device notice, which both were lawfully entitled to abstain from doing. The charges arise from him allegedly declaring he was not the driver. One of her charges for misconduct in public office relates to information she allegedly dealt with between June 2022 and January 2023, being employed as a public officer with intent to dishonestly gain a benefit for her son's details with information, namely traffic infringement policy. The woman is also charged with making false declarations before her husband in relation to the son's traffic offences. She was also charged with 2 counts of allegedly misusing a restricted government computer. Crikey. The woman's husband has been charged with 2 offences, making a false declaration in relation to the woman's son traffic infringement. So you know what they've done to get out of the fine, because he's probably low on points. He's probably a P plater, so you don't get as many points. So what they've done, they've made a declaration saying, yeah, nah, Dad was driving it. Doesn't have these same issues with his license. He was dying. He was also charged with fraud, dishonestly inducing the Queensland Revenue Office to reissue a photographic detection. All 3 members of the family appeared in the Brisbane Magistrates Court last November. A Queensland Treasury spokesman said in a statement the department was aware of a former staff member in the QRO had been criminally charged. This is what's interesting. Several other former and current staff have also been referred to Queensland Police Service for investigations. All matter of alleged misconduct by public servants are immediately referred to the Crime and Corruption Commission. That's the ones I used to work for, in line with legislation and QT policies. So this is the thing, okay? So as I said, I was seconded, I was a Queensland police officer, seconded to the Crime and Corruption Commission. We would be investigating, besides the crime, so we do organized crime, a lot of bikie crime and that kind of thing. Once crime hits at a certain dollar value, then they would take that job. So, and a lot of organized crime, to counter-terrorism, that kind of thing. But when it came to police misconduct and investigating other police, the thing is, I'd be looking at some of these officers we're investigating, and you'd be looking, going, how did they even get in the police force, the police service in the first place? Because you looked at some of their history, and there were so many red flags. I'd look through their history and go, they'd send you a package, and you read through, okay, this is the person we're investigating. This is what they've been This is the reason why. This is why we're investigating. This is what we think they've been doing. So, you got to go on out, and your job is to gather the evidence, basically. Uh, the thing is, you look through their history, and there was several people I'd be looking, going, how did they even get into the Queensland Police Service in the first place? You go through all this psychometric evaluations. You look through all of their history. You look through their traffic history, their driving history, traffic history. You look through their, they look through their social media and everything. Um, and yet, human resources, when it comes to hiring these people, supposedly could never pick up that, she had a, look at that. Her ex-boyfriend was so and so. Oh, look at that. They had a drink driving charge from a couple of years ago. Look at that. You know, they may have a few issues in their past from not that long ago. All these red flags would pop up, and I'd always be wondering, how did they get past human resources in the first place? And this is the big issue, I think. I wonder whether human resources, well, I just think human resources have a lot more to explain. They're not held accountable for some of the hiring that they do. Some of it looks to be blatantly obvious, and they've done it on purpose. They are hiring these people, and they need to be held accountable. They are the problem. Human resources are the problem. Either they know about it because they're friends with them, or they're doing it on purpose because they want these types of people within the government. I don't know what it is. I think some of it verges on actually criminal behavior from some of these human resources people. And then some of the people that they overlook, the whole system is questionable. But hey, what would I know? I was just a baggy ass senior constable, as one of my work colleagues used to say. The system is broken here in Queensland, but that's just my opinion. I think there's a lot more to answer. There's a lot more people that should be answering for what's going on, other than just the people who are committing these, who are behaving in this with this criminal action. The people in human resources, the people doing the hiring, the people making the decisions, the people who are overlooking the history of these other people need to come in line. They need to be starting to answer for the decisions that they are making. When you enter the Queensland government, you have to do all this psychometric testing, evaluation. How does someone like this, how does a big group, or how they put it, a nest of people get through the psychometric evaluations? Surely, maybe the psychometric evaluations aren't worth a pinch of salt. It's just my opinion.
They just fuel the desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's going